What's up, everybody? Shauna D Man here, and welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are doing great. Hope you guys are having yourselves a great week so far. We are back to talk about episode 5 of Daredevil Born Again, dropped last night. And at least personally for me, the thing about the Daredevil series, like season 2 has been a little bit of an improvement over season 1. You will have moments that like the beginning of episode 4 last week with the whole bullseye and the diner scene. You would have moments that almost feel like they recaptured what people liked about the Netflix version of Daredevil. Now, but those moments don't last very long. And in this episode, probably the best episode of the series of season 2 so far. Um, it feels like the same. It feels like the same thing with what happened with season 1, where you have these episodes and they're not very good, but you have that one episode or a couple episodes like in season 1, there was bringing back John Barenthal's Frank Castle. That episode was great. That was a really good episode. In this episode, we get a mixture of flashbacks and we're going back and forth between flashbacks and present day. Now, during the in between season 1 and season 2 of Daredevil Born Again, we heard the reports. We saw the images of, or I think there was images, but there were reports of Foggy returning, and a lot of people felt like, oh, was this? I think a lot of people felt like it was probably going to be a flashback of some sort. A lot of people were like, oh, did they maybe fake his death or something like that? No, it was just a flashback. We see them. I'm guessing these are two. Well, no. So what's the time frame is, uh, or the timeline's a little jarring because, sorry, I didn't mean to shake the camera there. Because we see them working at like an actual office. This seems like with the flashback with Foggy and Matt. This seems to take place before they got their building, before they did the whole Nelson and Murdoch thing. But you have the flashback was Vanessa and Fisk, where it looks like, because we also get Wesley back as well. And I remember seeing an image of Wesley floating around. He was coming back in a flashback. But we also get like kind of like the lead up to the introduction of Fisk and Vanessa at the art gallery where he buys the wall painting. Um, Obviously, present day, Vanessa is in critical condition after the shard of glass impaled the side of her head. Um, you have there's a lot somewhat going on. Obviously, um, we're just getting flashbacks of Vanessa leading up to the art gallery, Fisk leading up to the art gallery, them because the flashbacks revolve around Matt and Foggy going meeting a guy named Lionel who Foggy knew as a kid, and just getting him to sign, a plea deal. You go to jail, you get out in 5 to 6 years, maybe 3 years with good behavior that Matt says, but Lionel's like, no, because the stuff he's involved in, the trafficking of guns, selling of drugs, just the whole 9 yards. He seems to know who did, probably this law firm. Not, I don't think necessarily Matt and Foggy in general, but I think maybe he knows who he's working for, and he knows if he agrees to this, if he goes to prison, there's no getting out in the 5 to 6 years, as he puts it. He said he puts it, he'll basically be done in 24 hours, because the moment he gets in there, there's gonna be 10 guys there who got the call to take him out. And so um You also have Matt and Bullseye moving throughout the city, evading the task force. You got Buck and Daniel taking a trip up to Albany, and because I don't know why they did, I don't know why went, they did this because so obviously Daniel's the head of communications. These people calling in now. They don't know which hospital they're at, but you have people calling in, asking for a statement. Is she alive? All this stuff, and BB shows up somehow, and BB's able to find them. And I don't know why they went about this way, other than maybe just continued. Like I'm sure Daniel already. I think Daniel already knows BB's the one who is leaking the information and everything. But she shows up to the hospital, and she's like, she's I just want to get the story straight. Like, and you could clearly see Daniel trying to protect her. I think he probably really does like her, and he's trying to protect her. Like, BB, you can't be here. Fisk, the mayor, he's not in a good spot right now. And like, she's just like, I just want to get their story right. Daniel tells her that she's in critical condition, but that's as much as they know. Then obviously BB kind of like fakes, giving him a hug, and then like she's like, okay, I'll leave then. Just forget I came here. And then somehow the news is able to find which hospital they were at, and also, um, learn that Vanessa was in stable condition. And I'm just like, why did you make it this obvious? Like, we know BB's the one, doing it. Was this just to convince Daniel? Like, I feel like he didn't really need that much convincing. I feel like he was already kind of suspecting BB being the one doing all this, but um, yeah. And so I'm curious. And so Buck takes him up to Albany, which Daniel thinks is basically Daniel thinks he's done. He thinks that is the end of him because we go to this lumberjack like hardware store. Daniel's thinking about like leaving. He's thinking about just driving off, getting out of there. Um, but he doesn't. He stays, and then he sees Buck come out with a shovel and a hacksaw. And again, it's just adding. Even though I thought they were gonna have BB in the trunk. Now, obviously, that probably wouldn't make sense. Like maybe Buck was able to find out on his own that BB was the one providing the evidence or providing the leaks and stuff like that, and she was behind the Fisk mask and all that. Um, no, they're just going up to Albany to get rid of the first mate's body, which I completely forgot they killed him in episode 4. And so we also learned more about him as well because Wesley got in contact with him to basically take care of the Lionel problem. That doesn't seem to be the case that happened, like because Lionel looks like he did get away. Now I'm curious in episode 6 if we're going to catch up on that. Like I wonder how that's going to play out. But Foggy takes the money that they were saving up to go get their own building, I guess, and he gives it to Lionel to leave, go start his new life, just get out of here while you got the chance and everything. Just leave all this behind. Um, Matt's not mad. Like I think because there was an interesting conversation between them earlier in the episode when they're in the office talking about what's right and everything. Because the search warrant that was conducted, it wasn't invalid because it was the wrong. I think it was like a clerical error. It was like the wrong address or something like that. Because obviously Foggy mentioned that him and Lionel and his brother Connor grew up in the same building, so Foggy would know like the building numbers and all that stuff. But it'll make it inadmissible, make it invalid. It's Lionel's get out of free jail card. Now Matt, on the other hand, is kind of like, listen, he made mistakes. he drug running, gun smuggling, all this bad stuff. His consequence, these are the consequences of his actions. And Foggy pushes back. It's like, is it right that the consequences of his action are going to mean he gets killed the moment he steps foot inside prison? And it's just an interesting, it's an interesting conversation. And I think that's what's missed most about the Daredevil, with the difference between the Netflix series and the two Born Again series, is that the dialogue in the Born Again series are just not as good as the original three series for Netflix. Like it's just not as good. It's not as impactful. Although I do feel like the conversations in this episode, particularly with Foggy and Matt, were probably, well, I guess I would say Matt and Bullseye as well, because Bullseye is wanting him to just leave him there to die. They're able to escape the task force just long enough to get to the church, and I don't know if I like what they did here. So they get to the church. Obviously, the priest, which I don't think he's a priest yet, as he puts it, but like he mentions that like this place is, shelter for you both, but the task force knows you're here, which I'm curious on how they knew, or maybe they were just doing their searches and stuff like that. But uh Matt locks him in a room, um probably just weighing on whether to fight or not, and he's like, I can't save us both, I'm sorry. And he leaves Bullseye there to die, essentially. He gets ready to escape, and then it's just that hesitation, and you get that flashback of him and Foggy and everything they wanted to do and all that stuff, and that turns Matt to go back and grab Bullseye. They're able to make it back to Frank's old hideout, where Karen does not look really pleased to see him, obviously. So, um, Matt also mentions he knows a nurse that could probably help, which is probably Claire, which I think Rosario Dawson is supposed to be in this season. Um, so, but the episode essentially ends was Vanessa waking up. I thought she was gonna have like amnesia or like memory loss or something like that, and she wants Wilson to to tell her a story about how they first met. And it's just giving flashbacks to season one of Daredevil and everything, and she now she more than likely dies here at the end of episode 5. So that's quite interesting for them to go that route. Now let me see. Let me make sure, because it was doing like the heartbeat monitor and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, there's a good chance that Vanessa died at the end of episode 5, which is going to be curious to see what happens with these next set of episodes, because it feels like, is Fisk going to turn back into the Fisk that we saw? Well, because let's be clear, the Fisk that we see here in the Daredevil Born Again series is not the same Fisk that we see in the original 3 seasons of Daredevil. It's not the same. If they're able to revert Vincent D'Onofrio's back to that first 3 seasons of the Netflix Daredevil series, then I think they will need to be given props for doing that. But obviously, he's going to turn the city upside down. He wants both Daredevil and he wants a Bullseye alive. We know that is going to be the case. Now, next week's episode is episode 6, which, based off on IMBD, it is going to be the Jessica Jones episode. Now, there's probably going to be more involved as well, because apparently, I think Michael Coulter, I believe that's his name, who plays Luke Cage, he apparently ruined the season 2 finale, the final episode of season 2, Daredevil Born Again, which honestly should not be a surprise because I believe before the show came out, there was talks and rumors of potential another Defenders character showing up in Daredevil season 2. And I think he shared a picture, at least I didn't pay that much attention to it, but I know he shared a picture of him, Christine Ritter, and the actor who played Danny Iron Fist. Which I think whether that was a real image or not, I don't really know, but I did see that image. And then there was an image of Matt. There's a Charlie Cox, the actress that plays Ellen, and then Michael as well in a photo. So it's out there, I'm sure, but yeah, it looks like Luke Cage is going to make an appearance, which I think there was another thing, whether it's true or not, he is going to be involved in season 3 of Daredevil Born Again as well. So there's still a lot of questions in regards to things that connect to the grander MCU. I didn't even watch it yet, but we got our first trailer for the Punisher special that's dropping next month, and then we have Spider-Man Brand New Day involved as well. So there's a lot of questions in the grander Marvel sphere about Daredevil, where it ends off. So we'll see. But I do think this was probably the best episode of season 2. And we'll see how things shape out the rest of the way. But guys, that is relatively it. If you are new to the channel, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button. You can check me out on my gaming channel, Kick, Twitch, Rumble, the Nerd Talk podcast on Spotify. Other than that, I will see you guys in the next video. Y'all have a good one.